You mourned Princess Diana. Millions of people did. But the same world that cried for her spent 16 years turning her life into entertainment. And the uncomfortable part is that most of those people genuinely believed they loved her. Princess Diana may have been the first person in modern history destroyed by global emotional attention. Not because people hated her, but because millions of people felt like they knew her personally. Diana Spencer was 19 years old when she became engaged to the Prince of Wales. She was 20 years old when an estimated 750 million people watched her wedding on July 29, 1981. 750 million people, watching a 20-year-old woman on the most important day of her life. She smiled for every one of them. And something began that day that would not stop until the night she died. The world decided it knew her, not knew of her, knew her. Millions of people formed an emotional connection to Princess Diana that felt deeply personal. Her shyness, her warmth, her obvious discomfort with fame. These things made her feel emotionally real in a way royalty rarely had before. And when society emotionally claims someone as its own, something dangerous begins to happen. Privacy starts feeling selfish. Distance starts feeling unfair. Access starts feeling deserved. The newspapers printing photographs taken from behind walls and through long lenses were not being purchased by people who considered themselves cruel. They were purchased by people who loved her. People who wanted to know how she was doing. People who felt emotionally entitled to her existence without ever consciously realizing it. That feeling is not exactly hatred. It is something far more complicated than hatred, and significantly more dangerous. Because hatred creates distance, love can create possession. By the mid-1980s, Princess Diana had become something no human being is designed to survive. A global emotional symbol. Millions of people projected everything onto her simultaneously. Beauty, kindness, loneliness, hope, freedom, sadness. The world called her the People's Princess. But titles can become cages. In 1995, Diana gave an interview to the BBC that became one of the most watched television events in British history. During that interview, she said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage." Most people assumed she was talking about Camilla Parker Bowles, but in many ways, she was describing something much larger. 23 million people watched Diana describe what it felt like to live without privacy. 23 million people watching someone explain the psychological cost of constantly being watched. By the 1990s, the paparazzi industry surrounding Diana had become one of the most profitable systems in global media. The more private the moment, the more valuable the photograph became. She was followed to restaurants, to holidays, to gyms, into cars, onto beaches, through cities. There were moments where she could not leave a building without dozens of cameras surrounding her instantly. And the photographs always sold, because people always bought them, the same people who loved her. Then came August 31st, 1997. Diana was in Paris. Her car was being followed by photographers after midnight as it moved through the city. The vehicle entered the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, and then the entire world stopped. What followed was one of the largest public expressions of grief in modern history. Millions of flowers outside Buckingham Palace. Crowds stretching for miles. A funeral watched by approximately 2.5 billion people worldwide. And within days, the same newspapers that spent 16 years publishing paparazzi photographs of Diana began printing memorial editions covered in photographs of Diana. The same cameras, the same industry, the same consumption, only now focused on mourning instead of access. Researchers who study fame and media have increasingly used a term for this phenomenon in recent years: parasocial attachment, the experience of feeling emotionally connected to someone you have never met, someone whose life has been observed so consistently that the relationship begins to feel real. Princess Diana may have been the first human being in modern history to experience parasocial attachment at global scale. And the disturbing part is that it felt like love to almost everyone involved. Today, there are people who have never experienced a single public moment without being photographed, without being filmed, without being watched and emotionally consumed by strangers online. We call them influencers. Diana called it a prison. Princess Diana died at 36 years old. She spent more than half her life being watched by the entire world. And during the final years of that life, she was searching desperately for moments that belonged only to her. Moments not photographed, not sold, not consumed. She never fully found them. Prince William later said that he and Harry used to beg their mother not to go out because they were afraid of what the cameras and crowds might do. They were children, and even they understood something the rest of the world refused to fully admit. Some people are not destroyed by hatred. They are destroyed by being watched too much. We built an entire culture around watching people constantly, and we still call it love.